we can start our first lesson by modeling the star and calculating the light coming out of it and the light of it that is reaching our sensors. We can start modeling by a sphere which has the temperature of T, radius of R, and has a blackbody radiation. The light that is coming out of a part of it, which has the surface of 1 meter by 1 meter, it's a square. The light that is coming out is called flux. It's equal to sigma times T to the power of 4, the unit of watt over meter square, and this sigma is just a constant called Stefan-Boltzmann constant. So this is an intrinsic value. It just depends on the temperature of the star. Another intrinsic value is the light that is coming out of the whole surface of the star in the unit time. Simply, it's called luminosity, is equal to surface of the star times the flux, which is 4 pi r squared, the surface of the sphere, times sigma T to the power of 4. The next quantity is not actually intrinsic. It depends on the observer. It's called brightness, but before writing the formula, I'm going to show you how it works. We have the same star, but we are standing and looking at it from the distance of d. We can imagine another sphere that the light is coming out of, but we are standing on the surface of it and watching the star from there. The light is not actually going anywhere, so the same luminosity that is coming out of the star is also coming out of this big surface because of the energy is constant in the unit time. So if we suppose another square surface with the area of 1 meter by 1 meter, the light that is passing through it is firstly called brightness and is equal to the whole luminosity over the surface of the big sphere, which is 4 pi d squared, and also watt over meter squared. I forgot to say this luminosity has the unit of watt because the sphere is gone. This is not an intrinsic value. It depends on the observer and the distance, but this is actually good news because we can measure it, and by having the distance we can acquire the intrinsic values. So next, I'm gonna introduce you to a different quantity, which is called magnitude. This is kind of a logarithm of the brightness, but with some coefficients and some shifts. And why do we actually do this? Why do we introduce this new quantity? Because that is how our eyes as humans work. And basically all of our sensors work in logarithmic scale just to shorten the whole range of, for example, volumes in sound or lights in the whole environment, just to shorten it and have a better understanding of it. So we're just introducing this quantity to just describe the whole range of stars better. It's called magnitude, is shown by m, and the value is in general equal to -2.5, which has a historical reason. It's just a coefficient, times the logarithm of the brightness over the something that we call B0. It's the reference brightness. We can just take anything as the reference brightness, plus some reference magnitude. This logarithm is in the basis of 10, but we just ignore writing it. I keep it for now, but in the next formulas, I just don't write it. This is also not an intrinsic value because it also depends on the observer because of the B, but it has the shorter range. Now that we have introduced magnitude, we can call it apparent magnitude and introduce another quantity called absolute magnitude, which is just shown by capital M, not to be mistaken with the apparent one, and is the magnitude of the star if it was at the distance of 10 parsec. So we are fixing the distance, therefore we are fixing the brightness, and so we can just say that the absolute magnitude is an intrinsic value because it doesn't depend on the distance of the observer. It just depends on the luminosity. By introducing that, we can have another formula coming out of the magnitude formula that we just introduced, which is called the distance module. Let's calculate it. If we just write small m minus capital M from the formula above, we know that it's equal to -2.5 times logarithm of b over b10. b10 is the brightness of the star at the distance of 10 parsec. I'm just writing it in the index just to make things shorter. And also, we don't have the m0 value anymore because it cancels out in the minus process. If we just expand the b, we have minus 2.5 logarithm of sigma t4 r squared over d squared over sigma t4 r squared, because it's the same star, over 10 parsec squared. The whole thing is in the logarithm. This goes away with this, and we can say we have plus 2.5 logarithm of d squared over 10 parsec squared, or 5 logarithm of d over 10 parsec. If we write d in the parsec metric or the parsec units, we can just get rid of the parsec acronym, which is here, and write it in this way: 5 logarithm of d in parsec over 10, which by splitting the logarithm is equal to 5 logarithm of d in parsec minus 5. Yeah. This is the distance module. It just connects the apparent and absolute magnitude to the distance. If we have the distance from other methods and we have the apparent magnitude by observation and photometry, we can have the absolute magnitude. Therefore, we can have intrinsic values like temperature and radius. Or if we have the two magnitudes, we can just acquire the distance. It just depends on what data we have. Okay, so we can conclude the lesson right now, and I hope you have enjoyed.